It's another episode of The Little Carnival where Paula and I talk about some reality television shows that we have discovered on TLC. This episode, we are talking about the new show called My Feet Are Killing Me, which I can almost not even say it. Paula's going to tell us all about that show, and then we're going to recap the season premiere of Sister Wives, season 13. What that's all about. We'll let you know. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show. On this episode of The Little Carnival, we discuss the new season of Sister Wives. The long 2-hour episode dropped. We have our opinions and thoughts on the matter. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show.
Come one, come all. Step right up to The Little Carnival. If you love to hate the reality.
Welcome to an offshoot of the Ugly Truth podcast, The Little Carnival, where Paula and I talk about the shows on TLC that are exploitive and absolutely debased. This week we're talking about 2 shows. Sister Wives premiered, and also Paula has discovered My Feet Are Killing Me.
I can't believe you said it. That is the
name of the show.
I can't believe you said it.
I'm trying to be open because I want to know how the hell you got through this show, because we hate the F word.
I know.
So I'm going to give the basic premise, and then you're going to tell me about it. It says patients of Dr. Brad Schaefer and Dr. Ebony Vincent undergo surgery to have their F word radically transformed and their lives changed forever. So is this like Dr. Pimple Popper, where they get these extreme patients?
Yes, that's basically what it is, except it's of the lower extremities.
Like hands.
Yes. So it can be like, for example, like last night's episode, this guy had this syndrome called, I want to say it was Proteus syndrome, where it affects the whole body, but sometimes it focuses on certain parts of the body. So it's basically like inflammation, and it just causes the skin and the tissue to constantly grow. So his feet had basically bubbled over in size, and he couldn't even walk. He was so disabled.
God. Sounds painful.
It is painful. And so the doctor took molds of his feet and had special shoes made for him so he could walk. Oh. And so there was things like that. Then there was another guy where he had his feet were disformed in the sense that one foot was a size 11 and the other one was a size 7.
Oh my God.
And so I know, right?
Oh my God. Wow.
And
that's like someone saying that they have 2 left feet.
So he had to, but part of it is because he had a bunion that like protruded out by like 2 inches. It was like Paula, really huge.
How are you not vomiting right now? Like, how are you even getting through this?
Well, because it's surgical, and it's not like from like lack of bathing or something like that. It's just like these are just abnormalities, you know.
I know, but people's, I mean, how do you do it? How do you do this? I saw the show, but I'm like, wow. I saw it and I went, first of all, I have met a podiatrist, a surgeon who assisted with a situation that my daughter had, and he was amazing and he was adorable. He looked like Ryan O'Neal in The Good Days, and he was just the most attractive, ridiculously in love with his wife. And so it was like the perfect thing, because I just love men who love their wives, not sexually, but now you told me this doctor's really attractive.
Oh God,
too, right?
He's so cute. In fact, I told Ryan that. I said, if I had some sort of foot condition and the doctor walked in and said, "Hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so," I'd be like, "Goodbye, I'm leaving."
I can't have you see me this way.
Because here's the thing is they do this thing, and I think I noticed it the last episode. They do this thing, and I think they do it on purpose, where the patient usually leaves their shoes and socks on, and then the doctor has to take them off and take the sock off, almost as to unveil like
the big reveal,
the thing, because you would think like before the doctor comes in, you would already have everything off, right?
Yeah.
But the doctor comes in and takes the sock off almost to like, reveal the horrificness.
The malady.
Yes. And so then this other lady, okay, this was the one that grossed me out the most. And she had like this big toe nail fungus thing. She said she had it for like 20 years. And
Oh my God.
plus she had some sort of heel problem. Like, I forgot what it's called.
Was she a larger woman or was she a tiny woman? Or average?
I guess for her age, she was probably mid to large.
Okay.
She was probably in her 60s. So, I mean, I wouldn't expect her to be, like a model.
Svelte.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she had like heel problems that required like cortisone shots is what the doctor figured out. But the toenail, she said that she had it for like 20 years and she said that it smelled like wet corn chips.
Stop. Stop. What?
And she says it's embarrassing because she says, I work with a lot of political figures. And she said, I have to wear socks and sandals constantly. And they showed a picture of her standing with this group of people. And it showed her wearing her socks and sandals. And I'm just like, well, the only thing.
Ever heard of a boot?
I said, well, the only thing embarrassing about it is your socks don't even match. And so.
Does the woman ever heard of an UGG or something?
I'm just like,
what are we doing?
God. And so she's like, I finally want to take care of this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, she's acting like it's this big damn deal. And I'm just like, rip that fucker off. God.
It's over.
I'm like,
Just
I would have taken
an antibiotic.
I would have taken clippers off and, trimmed that thing off a long time ago. And then just pour fucking acid or,
right?
alcohol or something on that. I'm like, you don't need to go to a doctor.
That is something that I wonder. Why do people walk around with those heinous toenails and act as if we're just all supposed to accept that that's fine?
I mean, why would you walk around wearing socks and sandals for the rest of your life thinking that's acceptable?
What's wrong with a Van or an Adidas? Like, why are we doing the sock and sandal thing? Like, what are we doing?
No, and so
that's horrifying.
Anyways,
God.
I'm just intrigued, probably because of what I'm going to study in school, being a surgical technician, and I think I compare my my tolerance ability to the things that I see. Because I mean, it's quite possible I could be assisting in all of these things. Yes. And I'm just like, how would I react if, I had to help assist on removing this fungal toenail? Like, what would I do? And
throw up discreetly.
It's just
not eat that morning.
I don't know. I'm like, could I do that? And then like when she was done, it was on like the clippers, and she handed it to the assistant and I'm like, that would be me. And I'd have to like walk across the room with a freaking toenail pinched between this instrument and like lay it down somewhere. Toenail. And I'd probably be trying not to throw up. And
my eyes would be watering. They'd be like, why are you double masked, nurse?
Well, and the other thing
I don't even know where to begin.
Is the patient was conscious. So she was just, under like mild sedation. And the nurse or the doctor was talking to her and she's just like, well, the toenail's off. And the patient's like, yay. And I'm just like,
no.
I'd be like, you two need to shut the fuck up right now. Just like, don't talk. Let's just get it done.
And then just delouse this room with as much Lysol and Clorox wipes as we could and throw that instrument away.
Well, and then I was watching it and Ryan was out there and he was trying not to watch it. But I'm like, when they take off their socks or whatever, I'm like, literally, do they tell them leave your feet in the worst condition possible just so, we can film something? Because I'm just like, slap some lotion on there or something. Your feet are so dry. Like
gross.
One guy's feet, the last episode, when they took off his socks, it looked like it had been snowing. Because it was so flaky. And I'm like, they're going to have to vacuum after he leaves.
Are you going to continue watching this program?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then you're going to have to get us an update.
I will.
Well, you'll give us an update and give us the grossest of the gross.
Yes.
And you'll have to tell us the count of how many people come in with ashy feet and non-lotioned stems and whatnot. Next episode when we talk about this, I do want you to recap because we're running out of time.
Okay.
But I want you to recap the woman who had 12 toes. I'm curious.
Oh, okay.
I can't wait to hear it. I want to know what happened.
Okay.
Or how that even happens. Like, I mean, I know how that happens, but I mean, why? I want the who, what, and why of that whole situation. So
Gotcha.
next TLC, you're going to have to hit us off with that one.
Okay.
The next show, the Sister Wives season 13 premiere, The Polygamous Family is back. They are running out of juice. So this has been not the best kickoff to a season. You ran out of steam after what, 60 minutes?
Let's see. It said I had 50 minutes left and it was 120 minutes. So I don't know what is that. I did 70 minutes.
Okay. It was a 2-hour premiere. Actually, they do 2-hour shows now, I've noticed. They kind of split the stories into two. This one they didn't. This was all about their move to Flagstaff.
Right.
So here's some of the bullet points, and then you want to ask me your question now?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Bullet points. Robin cry count. Only one, shockingly. I was surprised. Only one. How many kids are hating the move? 2. One is the teeny tiny one, Christina's little girl.
Oh, Truly.
Truly is out of her mind. She's hateful. She hates it. She doesn't want to do it. And then Gabe, who was the one that's going into his senior year.
Oh, I don't blame him. He was a freaking wrestling national champion.
He was. And he had a girlfriend, too.
And then what bugged me the most, though, is Chanel, she's like, I know you're going to miss your girlfriend and your friends, but there's a lot of things to do there. There's a lot of hiking. And I'm like, you think that's some sort of fucking consolation? Like, she was so nonchalant about it.
I know. Talk about being the most selfish people. These people are so fucking selfish. They don't care about their kids at all when it comes to their feelings. And they do, but they're like, well, our hands are tied. Cody said we're going, so I guess we're going.
Right.
And I hate it. There was a scene, and you probably saw it. Cody is acting like it's all of their faults that they're up to their eyeballs in debt with mortgages and loan payments. They have 9 loan payments. They have the 4 in Vegas. They have 4 individual homes in Flagstaff. And then they have this loan for this land that's just sitting there empty because they don't have any money to build. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of fucking money.
Right.
And, so he's like, well, you guys, if we can't sell the houses. And Robin's like, well, I can't sell my house because a year ago I said that I was going to do a very important family reunion. So until that is complete, I'm not selling mine. So hers gets to sit on the market for 6 months not sit on the market for 6 months because she's having an incredibly important family reunion. And it has to be at this house.
I thought she didn't have any family.
I guess she does. I don't know. I mean, she is a Jessup. So, I mean, they're hardcore polygamous people. So, Mary, once again, is getting the raw end of the deal in Flagstaff. The rental that she had signed a 12-month lease with has axed her contract because the neighbors are outraged. And I don't know why anyone's surprised that conservative neighbors in Arizona would not want polygamists in their neighborhood. It's
honestly,
shocking.
when they talked about that and, they were talking about screw them, we should fight them and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, they're doing you a favor. I'm just
really are.
I'm like, take it and leave and just be like, peace out.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you always feel like you lost when you're moving out 2 days after you moved in and all the neighbors are watching you. But ultimately, fine. You picked the wrong neighborhood. These people are clearly not interested in anything outside of the very traditional way of life.
Well,
so it's fine.
And to be perfectly honest, I didn't find it to be that big of a deal. I mean, they were making it out to be like, it was this huge, massive deal, and I'm just like, it's not. Just it didn't work out, so get your shit and move, But they went on about it for like 25 minutes, and I'm just like,
well, like I said, they're running out of juice. They need to do something.
So when she went back to Las Vegas, and to be perfectly honest, I know she kept saying, it's hard not to be with the family and be here on my own. I'm like, you look fucking happy to me.
She looks peace. She looks totally at peace. And I mean, she said it's weird not to have neighbors because it's a vacant cul-de-sac.
It's like when she saw the fence building, she's like, this just makes me want to cry. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, crocodile tears. And so
exactly.
After that is when I turned off because I'm just like, I'm over this episode. I'm like, I'm tired of all the fake. It's just become so fake.
Well, it's drummed up for some. Like, the reality is that they're doing this because they need the money. That's why they're, and I read that TLC, they had to take a pay cut to continue. So they're not making the same per episode as they were in the beginning because it's losing steam. But they have and there's speculation that the reason they moved to Flagstaff is they needed a new storyline. I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay, so that was my whole question is I'm just like, okay, I thought what they had in Las Vegas was basically an ideal setup. So I didn't understand why the hell they moved to Flagstaff.
I don't know. Cody, apparently, this was said that he has moved the family 20 times. He's like our dad. Our dad moved us every other year when I was little. We moved every other year until our parents divorced. And even after they divorced, he still moved every other year.
And I do remember Mary saying that. She says, ever since I've known Cody, she says, we've literally moved like every 2 to 3 years. She says I think we've moved at least 9 times since we've been married. And so she says, I'm not terribly surprised, but she says this is disappointing because this is the longest place we've ever lived.
Right. And they were happy there.
Well, because they had their own court. The backyards didn't have any walls. And so it made sense. And I thought it made great sense for them.
I would not have left. I would have. Well, none of them did. They fought it for a really long time. But he's like, I want you to take a prayerful consideration on this. I'm getting a calling. And I'm like, you're not getting a calling. You're running away from some whore that you're fucking in Vegas. And you need to get out before your wives find out about it, is what I think.
You think he was having an affair?
Hell yes. He's a dog. He's a dog. So anyway, and I know people, I do know. I know men very well. And I know men who have enough stamina to fuck 3 women because he's not doing it with Mary.
Yeah.
Definitely was looking for a little young strange because these women are all in their 40s now and no one's giving him babies. Robin's done now. So, now he's looking for a little,
yeah,
is what I think.
Maybe.
Same reason why our dad moved us all the time. The other thing is there was a little discussion as to why not one wife offered to help have Mary stay with them while she found a house. Like nobody offered up their home.
Well, I think that's pretty clear because they have a rule about every wife having their own privacy because nobody wants to share a house with another wife while they're having sex with Cody.
Well, I mean, I don't know who he's banging, but I definitely not Mary, but I understand. I agree.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, if Mary was staying with Robin, obviously he's fucking Robin. So, I mean.
Right. And not to mention, well, first of all, I don't think those two get along very well anymore. And Mary is really living her own. She's never home. Never. She's always traveling constantly.
Yeah, it just would be awkward. But my whole thing is I'm like, why does Mary need a big fucking house anyway? I mean, all she needs is like a 2-bedroom apartment.
I don't know. I never understood her need for big homes. Is like she's still living the assumption that children will come stay with her, and they don't.
And why is Janelle getting a teeny tiny house and Robin has this like giant mansion?
Robin's home is worth $1 million.
That's the thing I didn't understand is Janelle's getting like this tiny shack. She's got 6 kids.
I know, and they're big.
Yes.
They're big kids. They're not even little kids. Okay. And then finally there was a meeting. Cody wanted to try to get all of the wives to get the adult kids to move to Flagstaff. And Christine's like, look, they're not coming. And he started to cry. Like, I guess they're not coming. They're like, no, why would they? And a couple of the kids are like, why the hell would we uproot our whole lives, move to Flagstaff only to have our dad pick up and leave in 5 years?
Right.
Like, that's ridiculous. No, it's not happening. And so Christine and a couple of the other moms said they wish they had moved when the adult kids had all moved out of Vegas, which was like less than 2 years away. They all agree that the move was shitty timing. They shouldn't have done it. They're regretful. And, they're mad at Cody for coming to his senses now. Because he's like, well, I guess we should have thought about this.
Well, so I think he's realizing that this is not nearly as easy as he had thought, and that that Flagstaff is not nearly as welcoming as he had hoped. I mean,
I don't know what what he was thinking moving to Arizona. Like, what was he thinking? Just because you're conservative in your morals doesn't mean that your lifestyle is considered conservative. It's not. It's actually very liberal.
Well,
free love. Love is love. And that's what you're saying. And yet, just because you're like, well, we don't let our children sleep together if they're a couple in our house, you know, that's fine. But your lifestyle is not conservative.
Yeah. And well, exactly. And, you know, and that's what Victor's comment was the other night. He's just like, okay, so he won't let his kids sleep with their partners if they're not married, yet he has 4 wives. He's like,
I know.
What? And the one daughter that's gay, he won't let her sleep with her girlfriend unless they're married. He says, in what world does any of that make sense? And I'm just
doesn't.
I'm like, everybody's got to draw their line in the sand, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they
just,
do.
it doesn't make any sense.
And he always says the same thing. I have small children. I don't want, they're impressionable. And I'm like, well, not so much, because not one of them wants to be a polygamist.
Well,
so I'm not sure.
And I'm like, if you look at their situation, I mean, basically, legally, he just has 3 mistresses. That's all he has. I mean, because if something happened, they'd all just pretty much be SOL, you know?
They would be. That's why, yeah, it's true. So anyway, that's essentially how it ended. This obviously was filmed a year ago, because the upcoming Christmas episode is when one of the one daughter that I like, who moved with Caleb, her husband, she was pregnant, and now she's had the baby's like 4 or 5 months old now. So this was filmed a year ago. So things might have settled in. I don't know, but I just think that it still looks miserable, and the idea of being married to that individual makes me want to vomit. So I don't know how these women do it, but I don't see them being able to continue with this show much longer. I just don't see it.
Well, I mean, I know the one daughter, her and her husband end up moving to like South Carolina, don't they?
They did.
And then the other daughter,
they have 2 that are living in Utah.
the blonde one, I thought they stayed in Las Vegas.
Well, she's finishing school, but I think she's graduated. Then the idea is to move to Utah.
Yeah.
Because they all want to be Mormon or LDS.
Right.
They don't want to do polygamy. But they do like the faith. The problem is the church won't allow them, because they have to disavow their family to do it. Mm-hmm. So I think they're kind of in one of those limbos where they're just spiritual instead of religious. But so that's those 2. And then there's their oldest son, Logan. Is his name Logan? He lives in Vegas with his fiance.
Yes, he's not practicing anything at all.
No.
So.
In fact, I don't know what kind of relationship he has with his family, because they really were hard on that kid. And so surprisingly, he's not interested. He's not even on the show anymore.
He probably doesn't want to be.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He's just trying to remove himself from that. Anyway, so that's the first season. That's the first season opening, or 13th premiere, I should say.
I wouldn't.
And so I'm sure if something great happens, then, you know, we'll recap it. But there's other amazing reality television that TLC is providing us with. So we'll probably talk about other shows. But that is that.
Yes.
Where our obsession with polygamy continues, and your newfound interest in the podiatry world will begin.
Yes. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to the next episode of The Little Carnival.